All right, we're here at the number 12 Twisted Tea Suzuki, presented by Progressive Insurance, and he was A-Ray's mechanic, but we're going to let him introduce himself, and he's glad he's away from A-Ray now, and he's moved on to the big rig here. So introduce yourself and give us some background and how long you've been with the team.
Yeah, Mike Medina. I'm the mechanic for Shane McElrath, number 12. Been with the Twisted Tea HEP Suzuki team. This is going on my second year now, and everything's been going well. Shane's been riding pretty good, and he's progressing every week, so it's looking pretty good.
I ask all the mechanics this, I have been today at least. Do you still get to go and ride? Do you like riding? Because now that you're in it, right? And I'm sure you were an enthusiast before you got here. Yeah. Now that you're in it, are you getting to go ride dirt bikes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whenever there's any downtime, and there's hardly any downtime, but
you still ride?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still have all my two-strokes in my garage, RM-250 and stuff like that. So whenever I can get a chance, especially with us living in the high desert, I can just ride right off my driveway in 5 minutes any direction. You know, we can go to it. So I still get in the seat time.
See, I knew I loved this guy. He still likes to ride dirt bikes. He's from the high des. It's all good here. So let's go over Shane's bike. He's new to the team. He was a late addition. Right. So obviously with the signing of number 94, the team has grown tremendously, a lot of attention. You guys have switched some bits and pieces to the bike from last year. So let's talk about the engine. Obviously, Jamie over at Twisted Development does your guys' stuff, does your ECU mapping. So Shane got there, he started testing. What did he notice about the engine? What is the package here on the number 12?
Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. Jamie Ellis with Twisted Development is behind our engines. He does a very good job. One of the things Shane actually noticed was he actually would like to kind of detune the thing. It was actually a little bit too much for him. So we've actually done a couple of things to kind of just mellow out that curve for him, just to make it more rideable, because Shane doesn't like too much blast or too much hit out off the bottom, things like that. He likes a more linear power band. So we've actually done some things to kind of manipulate that to make it a little bit smoother ride for him.
Yeah, so you guys, if you're watching all these videos that we have, there's some riders that like a lot of front side, a lot of low-end grunt like Cooper Webb, and then you got others like Shane, as well as Colt, that like a smoother, longer power. And let me just tell you guys, I've been around Jamie at Twisted a long time. He knows how to build a lot of engine, and his philosophy is, Mike, is that he wants to give the most to the riders and let them back it down if they need it. So here's what I can offer you, and then it's up to you to manage that power how you like it. So I guess it's better to have too much than not enough.
Oh, absolutely. It's always better to have too much than too less. And not only with the engine, but even with the EFI tuning, with our Vortex ECUs that we use. Jamie Ellis is a guru with the Vortex, so we can also manipulate delivery, things like that, to help smooth out the power for Shane.
All right, let's move on to the chassis side of things. This is a stiffer nature chassis from Suzuki. From what I remember, and riding production bikes, obviously it's a little bit different, but I would say a little bit stiffer feeling. And you guys are working with Dave Cruz from Showa, or was from Showa, and he's working on your Showa components. But give us some background on the suspension, and if Shane has been picky about that so far.
As everyone knows, our chassis is a little bit different from the other Japanese manufacturers, as you know when you rode Marshall Welton's bike, a few months ago. But yeah, under the chassis and suspension area, Dave Cruz from Showa is the one actually helping us out, getting us dialed in on that. But Shane, he's actually a very good tester with what he knows he wants, what he feels, things like that. So it's kind of been a little bit on the easier side of us trying to get him dialed in. We're not reinventing the wheel or things like that. We're very close with everything that we try. So it's just a little fine tuning here and there. But no, as far as suspension and chassis, I think we have a pretty good setup with how we have everything, dialed in for him.
Now, if a consumer wanted to go get a replica of this bike, is most of these parts on here available to the consumer? Is there anything that's unobtainium?
No, not at all. All these pieces can be purchased. The frame is the frame. We just make it look a little bit better with the stuff that we do as far as appearance. But as far as the suspension, this is just your normal Showa A-kit suspension that it can be purchased for a price. It's not unobtainium at all. So there's nothing really special on here that nobody can acquire for their own home RM-Z450.
The move to from Yoshimura to Pro Circuit mufflers, I know that was something that was kind of big news once Ken got to the team. Is that due to Ken, or was that already kind of going that direction?
I'm not exactly sure how that deal panned out. I know it was a little bit in the works, but I mean, Yoshimura and Suzuki have been, peas and carrots forever, and the name and the brands. But as far as the Pro Circuit deal, not saying Yoshimura. I mean, Yoshimura makes great exhaust systems. They helped us out for many years. It was just a decision to go another direction and see if we can squeeze more power out of the engine, or to see if there's anything else we can extract from the exhaust side of it.
Something I noticed as well is you guys are still running stock clamps. Basically, for rigidity reasons, or what's the purpose that maybe Shane likes the stock clamp?
It's actually unanimous that pretty much everyone on the team, we are running stock clamps more for the rigidity. Yeah. The stock clamps are a little bit softer than what we used in the past, like maybe some extra clamps or things like that. So we've actually gone to a stock setup just to give the riders a little bit more flex, a little bit more feel, and things like that.
All right, so what is Shane most pickiest about? Is he something like, hey Mike, like I need this every weekend, I need it just like this. If it's a little off, I'm gonna freak out. Is he picky? Is there one thing that he likes to do himself? Anything that you can tell these viewers out here?
No, not at all. I mean, Shane, he doesn't seem very picky at all. He lets his mechanic do the things he needs to do. He has full trust in me, which I truly appreciate, and everything. So he's not very picky at all. One thing he does like that, I will say that he is picky. He has to have grip donuts.
Oh, he's a McElrath's type of guy.
He's a grip donut guy, and I got to keep fresh sets on me at all times and all that stuff. I think he's the only one who uses grip donuts on the team. But other than that, he's very easygoing, very easy guy to work with. It's been a pleasure so far, and look forward to a lot more time with him. And it's getting better every week, getting more acclimated to the Suzuki, and it's. We had a very good practice week, and we think this week is going to go really well.
Triple Crowns, really quick, just to talk about that. Do you like Triple Crowns? Is it more work for the mechanics here? How does that work for here under the tent?
Me personally, I'm not too fond of the Triple Crown format. There's just not a lot of time in between these main events, and it's just boom, boom, boom. It feels like a national, where you wake up, it's boom, boom, boom all the way to sundown kind of thing. But I mean, it has its pros and cons. Shane, I believe he does like the Triple Crown format. Just with you can have a shoddy moto and still salvage a great night with two better ones, things like that. But there really is not a lot of time in between motos and things like that, especially if your rider crashes and starts bending things up, things like that. That's the reason why we have our backup bikes, which we're able to use two bikes on these Triple Crown formats, just in case big disasters or catastrophic failures happen. We have a backup bike on the ready.
All right, it's number 12, Shane McElrath, and Mike from the High Des. Gotta love him. He's been around a bit. He made it through A-Ray, so he can do anything.